Welcome everyone. Sit back and get comfortable with you. That's what we're doing here. We're practicing yoga together. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of Riverflow Yoga, a hot yoga studio located in Lambertville, New Jersey. And since March, we've been located virtually right here from our home studios, all of the teachers at Riverflow Yoga, bringing you yoga every day right here on Facebook Live. Today and every weekday at 12:30 is the Blissful Warrior Yoga. This is my own practice. This is a practice that I have sort of curated, I guess you can say, from my 45 years of practicing and teaching many beautiful forms of yoga and mindfulness practices and meditation practices that I really feel that many of us can benefit from these days. Don't get me wrong, I'm a hot yoga aficionado. I have been practicing hot yoga for 25 of those 45 years, and I feel like it has incredible benefits physically, emotionally, mentally. It's a very beautiful practice. And yet there are so many beautiful yoga practices and mindfulness processes that can be interwoven so beautifully into the various needs that you have at different times in your life. So I happen to notice for myself a practice that allows me to settle myself back down, especially in the middle of the day. I love doing this practice midday because you've already had a morning of activation, and yet you still have the afternoon ahead of you with things on your to-do list, things to do and deadlines to meet. We all know that tomorrow is a big deadline for paying taxes, and that might have some of us a little bit rattled. And so being able to take a step back a little bit, back isn't even the right word, but to take a step inside yourself and really get to choose how you want to feel in this moment. If events or situations or conditions around you have sort of thrown you off your balance a bit at this point in your day, this is your opportunity to practice some beautiful techniques designed to soothe you. And in that soothing, what I have discovered in my years of practicing yoga and meditation and mindfulness is that in that soothing, you find your empowerment. We think of the word empowerment as something sort of powerful, right? So you got to muscle your way through in order to feel empowered and confident. But it has not been my experience. My experience has been the more you soothe yourself, the more likely you are to find solutions. Gosh, the word soothe is even sort of in the word solutions. Soothe-lutions. So the more you soothe yourself, the less agitated you are, the more likely you are to feel empowered. In that place where you can make decisions from a place of mental clarity, you feel empowered. You feel confident. You feel like yourself. And so the soothing of yourself emotionally and even physically. And some of us have or are dealing with some chronic conditions or some momentary pains or some worries about our bodies or some chronic worries about our bodies. So in finding the ability to feel the soothing place inside your own body, you find such a tremendous storehouse of empowerment that's always been there, just waiting for you to reconnect with it. So what better time than right now? So join me sitting in a soothing position. You might choose to sit on the ground. That's what I'm doing right now, and it's what I tend to do as we come to this practice every day. I love sitting on the ground. If you don't, by all means, you can start sitting in a chair, remembering that this practice is about soothing yourself. So we're not going to muscle through anything. I'm not going to force you or push you or even tell you that the way of doing this is to make great effort. I'm going to continually encourage you to choose the soothing choice for yourself, as I give you lots and lots of detailed instructions and options on ways to hold your body and to move your body that might actually feel both soothing and empowering for you. So you don't have to force yourself to sit on the ground. It just happens to be what I like to do. So I'm sitting here cross-legged on the ground. If you do like to sit on the ground or you would like to sit, grab a cushion. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can grab the nearest cushion off your bed or off of your couch, just slide it under your butt, maybe make it a little fluffy so that you can sit in the far forward edge of the cushion. Let's see if I can give you a view of that. I always talk about it, but let's see if I can show you how that is. So I've got this round zafu cushion under me, and rather than sitting in the center of the cushion, I'm sitting to the far front of it. And as I do so, my hips tilt down, my knees tend to tilt down a little bit, and I feel a real great relaxation here in the hips. And we're going to do some poses today for opening the hips. So many of you have been telling me that you're in so much discomfort sitting at your computers for a good deal of the day. So I'm going to show you some empowered hip movements today. So this is one of them. To grab a cushion and put it under you and sit a little far forward of that cushion so that your hip flexors begin to just ease a little bit. Now if you don't want to sit on the floor or on a cushion, sit in a chair. Nobody's watching you, and certainly you shouldn't be judging yourself. Find a beautiful, soothing chair to sit in and place both of your feet on the ground. And when you sit in a chair, if you are one of those people that has to sit in front of a computer for a large portion of your day, or in a Zoom meeting even for a couple of hours a day, if you place both feet on the ground, you're doing something very calming for your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system that controls your chill out response. It's the part that controls all of your autonomic functions like your heartbeat and your organs that work without your having to tell them what to do, and your blood flow. So just by placing both feet on the ground, you have a grounding of that nervous system, and in that grounding you feel soothed. So there's benefit to sitting in a chair. You don't have to force yourself to sit like a yogi on the ground. And listen, maybe you don't want to sit at all. So as you arrive in this practice, maybe you prefer to lie down. Go ahead, lie down on your back. That's my option. That's what I would suggest. And as you lie on your back, have your arms far from your body and your palms facing up. Allow your heels to touch and your toes to flop apart. I'm going to soothe the hips by just allowing them to open and relax. As long as they're not bearing any weight, as long as you're not standing, needing your hips to be square, it's really nice to have this moment to let them relax. Okay, so find your soothing place to arrive in this practice, and once you've settled, drink some water. I should have told you to get the water first, but let's hope you have some water close by, and if you don't, go ahead and rise up out of your seated position and grab some water. Drinking water is an extremely soothing thing to do. You know, if you ever find that you're agitated, and you know, once you're agitated, it really is hard to think. It's hard to think about positioning your body. It's even hard to think about breathing or to focus on breathing. But you can just grab for some water and drink that water, and you will find instant soothing inside your body. So, as I'm telling you all this, hopefully you are sipping some water. Most of us drink too little water. There's a wonderful challenge of drinking a gallon a day of water for 30 days and just seeing what happens. And if you take this challenge, you'll find some amazing changes happening in your digestive system, in your skin tone, in the strength of your nails. You give it a try. You've got 30 days, maybe you're spending a lot of it indoors. See if you can see what that might feel like to focus on drinking water to soothe yourself. Okay, so as we arrive here in this practice, we're just going to check in for a moment on the emotional scale and just give yourself a number from 1 to 10, 1 being very chill and 10 being very agitated. And just give yourself a number of where you are right now, without judging, without thinking about it too much. What number feels like where you are right now? Usually it's the first one that comes to your mind. I'm going to say I'm about a 6. So I did actually have some moments this morning of soothing and agitation. So right now I'm just here at a level 6. So now, taking this moment where you're here, you've arrived, you've settled, you've sort of checked in, deliberately focused on where you are in this moment, let's move into some deep breathing. This is another very beautiful way to arrive in the present moment and to calm your nervous system. And again, most of the time, when you're already agitated, even taking deep breaths can be something that just completely leaves your mind. So here in the middle of your day, it's really nice to practice these things so that when you need them, they will become second nature to you. Okay, we're going to take deep breaths in and out through your nose. As you breathe in through your nose, you're going to hear a big loud ha sound in the base of your throat, like Darth Vader breathing or like the sound of the ocean. And as you exhale, it'll again be through your nose, but you'll be passing it through the back of your throat, making that ha sound, both on the way in and on the way out. And I'll time these breaths for you, and you're just going to follow along. So settling into a comfortable place in your body. As I sit here on the ground, I have my arms on my knees, the backs of my hands, actually more like my wrists, balanced on my knees with my palms facing up. So you can try that, or palms facing down, you can try that. Hands in the lap if you're sitting on the ground or in a chair is another soothing place. If you're lying on the ground, you might try one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, just letting your elbows sort of fall to the ground beside you. You can try that if you're sitting as well. Really nice places to rest. Okay, so let's begin. Now for this deep breathing, you can keep your eyes open fully. You could have them half-masked. You can close your eyes. See which one feels most soothing. Remember, soothing is empowering. So let's begin. Inhale. Hear that sound, that big loud sound coming in, pulling your collarbones wide, sort of pinching your shoulder blades together, dropping your chin, letting the tongue rest on the roof of your mouth, holding here. And then exhale. Again, hearing that sound in the back of your throat, big loud ha sound, emptying your belly, letting your tailbone drop down a little towards the ground, and then tuck it up a little towards your belly. If you're sitting, that move might tend to just lift your chest a little. If you're lying down, that little move might tend to relax your lower back a little more. Inhale. Collarbones wide. Allow your chin to drop. Most of us don't know that we have a chin thrust, that we have our chin thrust forward of our necks. And so there's that strain in the cervical spine. And the moment you drop your chin down, all of that releases. And exhale. And inhale. As you inhale, draw your collarbones wide apart, almost feeling like you're pinching your shoulder blades together behind you as your arms stay limp. Let your chin drop. Keep the tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Exhale. Hearing it in the back of your throat, that loud ha sound like the ocean, like the inside of a seashell. Imagining that the breath is coming in and out through this hole in the base of your throat rather than your nose. Now we'll do 3 more, and I'll be a little more silent so I can actually take these breaths with you. Inhale. Exhale. Stay empty here for a while at the end of your exhale and drop your tailbone down and up a little. Inhale. Pulling the collarbones wide, dropping the chin. I'm just saying these things as I do them to share them with you. Exhale. Inhale. Just hold here at the top of your breath, feeling your rib cage expanding, your whole thoracic cavity just feels filled. Exhale. Chin dropped a little, tongue settled on the roof of your mouth, checking that your arms are still limp wherever they're being held. And inhale. For me, I can actually feel that moment where I settle. Things just start to settle down a little differently. Hopefully you felt that too. If you haven't, don't worry about it. It will come in time, but notice that no matter what it is you've felt, no matter what it is that you're connecting to as a sensation in this moment, you have fed your body with lots of oxygen, really getting some fresh, rich, oxygenated blood to flow through you. And in this sound in the back of the throat, you've massaged the vagus nerve right here alongside your neck, that longest nerve in your body that runs from your brain to your gut and branches out everywhere, controlling your nervous system. So you've done some physical calming of your emotional state just in breathing. And of course, in taking these deep breaths, you've really fed your physical body as well. Okay, so let's move into some asana, some yoga poses, especially if you're feeling that sense of calm, grounded, balance right now, even if it's slightly more than you felt when you first arrived here, about 10 minutes ago. Being able to take this sensation, this calm, into movement will feel different for you now. So let's stand up. All right, if you're sitting in a chair, super easy to stand up. If you're lying on the ground, roll over onto your right side, place your palms on the ground, and push yourself into a seated position. And here in the seated position, we'll come to standing together. So here's a really lovely way to come into standing from a seated position, if this works for you today. So see here, I'm cross-legged in this position. I'm going to bring my fingertips forward right here in front of me. And I'm going to come onto my knees. Hang your head between your arms. Bring your fingertips someplace in front of you where you can really lock your arms as you hang your head between your arms. And then push backwards into your fingertips and settle into your heels. So this is a really beautiful up dog position. And then you can walk your fingertips in towards your toes. Or let's try this one. Clasp your hands, hold with a pistol grip of the fingertips, head between the arms, and pull your fingertips forward, the pointer fingers forward, as you uncurl your spine, getting one vertebra at a time to line up. You are in standing position. Hold to the ceiling, lengthen your spine, and drop your arms down. All right, so as you stand, I'm going to just reposition my camera a little bit more for these beautiful standing poses that we're going to do. Okay, so here we are. Standing, feeling beautifully relaxed in the standing position with your arms at your sides. So I'm going to talk you through as I just continue to adjust a little. Arms at your sides, palms facing forward. Pull your collarbones wide apart. Drop your chin a little. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. And you're breathing. Inhale. And exhale. So begin to feel your strength. This pose right here is mountain pose, especially if you separate your feet about hip-width distance. And as you turn your palms forward and pull your collarbones wide, let your chin drop down a little and keep the tongue on the roof of your mouth, locking your thigh muscles, lifting them up, turning your kneecaps inward a little bit, feeling light in your feet, but feeling really empowered in your chest area. This is a beautiful pose for you to do before you're about to go into a challenging situation. This is great to do before you go to an interview or a meeting of some kind, or any other place where you feel like you might be a little bit nervous. And take a moment in mountain pose and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. And speaking of breathing, we're going to do a pranayama right now that really is meant to infuse your entire body with oxygenated blood. So bring your toes and heels together. Locking your thighs and rotating your knees. If you push the inner edges of your ankle bones together, you will immediately feel the weight of your body held in your quads rather than in your ankles or knees. Nice strong quads, knees and ankles tend to be a little bit more delicate. They're meant to be. They're for bending. But the quads are meant for weight bearing, so let's use them that way. Now bend your elbows and clasp all 10 fingers together. Slide your knuckles up under your chin and try not to thrust your chin forward. Now you're going to pick a spot on the wall in front of you and you're going to focus your eyes there for just a moment. Just keep your eyes softly focused as you keep your collarbones pulled wide, checking to see that from the hips to the heels, you feel locked and balanced in your quads. And looking at that spot on the wall in front of you, we're going to begin with these nice strong breaths. Inhale, elbows to the ceiling. So the arms become like little wings at the sides of your head. Good. Shoulders down, stomach in, thigh muscles are still tight and lifted, kneecaps turned inward, tailbone drop down. Now exhale, open your mouth wide, make a big ha sound like a sigh of relief as you push your head back. And bring together your wrists, your forearms, and your elbow tips. Elbows apart now. Shoulders down. So as your elbows go up, your shoulders come down. Suck your stomach in. So you're going to really engage your core. Tighten your thighs more. Rotate your knees in a little bit more. Exhale. Big ha sound through your open mouth. Push your head back. Bringing together your wrists, your forearms. Squeezing your elbow tips as you pull your shoulders and elbow tips forward. And inhale. Still hearing the breath coming in through the back of your throat. Elbows up to the ceiling and behind your ears a little bit, chin down. Stomach in, thigh muscles lifted, tailbone dropping down. Tuck it up a little towards the belly. See this move right here? Exhale. Open your mouth wide. It's a big sigh of relief. You're trying to fog up an imaginary mirror on the ceiling with your breath. Wrists, forearms, and elbows squeeze together tight. Inhale. Through your nose, keeping your mouth closed on the inhale, pull your elbow tips higher and behind your ears, but draw your shoulders down. Don't let them hunch up by your ears. Stomach in. Thigh muscles tight and lifted. Tailbone dropping down and under. Exhale. Big ha sound. Wrists, forearms, and elbows squeeze together like a bellows, pulling them forward. 2 more. Inhale. And just hold here. When you think you're at the top of your breath, take another sip and hold here. Exhale. Keep your tailbone dropped down so you're not back bending, but you really are getting a beautiful flex of your neck as you empty the breath. Elbows touch, and last one. Inhale. Hold it here. Really see if you can pull up a little bit more. Elbow tips, but not shoulders. Exhale. Mouth wide open. Wrists, forearms, elbows squeeze together. Now stay right here and stay empty with your mouth open. As you push the neck a little bit more with the knuckles against the chin. Staying empty, locked from the hips to the heels, staying empty. And then relax your arms to your sides. And back here in mountain pose. So bring your feet apart, about hip width distance. Turn your palms forward, pull your collarbones wide, drop your chin down. Tighten your thighs, lift them up. Rotate your knees a little bit in. Inhale. Exhale. All right, for some more soothing empowerment, let's move the spine 360 degrees. You know, your spine is like a slinky. It has the ability to move in many directions and to feel good about it. Just like a slinky can be as springy Remember that feeling of the slinky in your hand? I hope I'm not dating myself. I hope you guys know what a slinky is. If not, they must still sell them. You gotta get one. It feels wonderful to feel this springiness in your hands going from hand to hand. Imagine that your spine is just like that, built like a slinky. So, Ardha Chandrasana with Padahastasana, half moon with hands to feet pose, toes and heels together. Right away, squeeze the inner edges of your ankle bones and lock up your thighs. And now let's pull down from the fingers. So as you lock your thighs up, you pull your fingertips down and you can feel the drag, sort of a delicious drag in your shoulders. Continue to inhale and bring your arms over your head. Notice how easy it is to lift your arms up when you're pulling and your arms are locked. Then all 10 fingers engaged. Point your fingers up, thumbs crossed. Pull up. Lengthen, squeeze your head with your biceps and lean back into your heels. I'm going to step a little forward here. I'm in a sloped ceiling and I'm already touching the ceiling. So leaning back a little, pushing your hips and thighs forward. Lift from the center of your chest. Feel yourself being able to lift your entire body out of your waist, all the way up. Keep leaning back, keep your chin down, and then very gently just move from side to side. Be aware that you're pulling to the left and pushing your hips right, and pulling back to center and inhaling, and pulling to the right and leaning your hips left, and inhale back to center and pull. And continue to pull now to the left and lean your hips right and inhale back to center. So back here at center, as you inhale, squeeze your biceps behind your ears and pull up with the pistol grip, the pointer fingers only. Lean the weight backwards, push your hips forward, lifting up out of the center of your chest. Nice long spine. Hold your breath here, inhaling and holding, and then start. Hold your breath as you pull yourself to the top back right corner of your room with your pointer fingers. So picturing what's happening to the spring in your spine, that slinky spring. And as you exhale your breath, push your left hip to the left. So you stay locked from the tip of your fingers down to your heels. Let's relock. Inhale, pull from your pointer fingers, press your palms, lock your arms to your head, bring them back. Chin off your throat. Lean into your heels, push your hips and thighs forward. And as you exhale your breath, allow your left hip to just ease itself to the left. Feel this luxurious, elegant movement here, just by allowing your hip to go to the left. Push. Oh, it's wonderful. You can feel this lengthening happening all the way down the left side of your body as the right side contracts. And then inhale back to center. Pull up when you're in center and lean backwards. Lock your thighs and rotate your knees and lift your chest, the center of your chest up to the ceiling. So you're really nice and locked here as you lean back. Pull up again, hold your breath, and holding your breath, pull from your pistol grip to the top back right corner of your room. Pulling, pulling. And as you exhale the breath, keep the arms locked, but let the right hip relax so it eases out. So you imagine that this slinky is now like an inverted letter C. And you can feel the parts that are pulling your pointer fingers down to your heels and the parts that are rounding your right hip. Inhale, pull again from your pistol grip. Press your palms. Lock your head with your arms. Chin is off your throat. Lean into your heels. Push the hips and thighs forward. Rotate the knees in. And as you exhale your breath, ease that right hip out to the right. So feel your body lengthening all the way down the right side and contracting on the left side just by pushing your right hip. And change. Inhale, coming back up to center. When you're at center, take a moment to lengthen and stretch. And as you exhale, you're going to drop the head back. Let that slinky go backwards for a moment. But right now, it's just the head. Inhale, pull up from the pointer fingers, lock the arms, lock down into your heels, hips a little forward. And as you exhale your breath, lift your chest and move your arms. So you're going to just go into this easy backward bend by moving your arms and keeping your eyes on your pointer fingers, drawing that line across the ceiling. As you inhale, lift from the center of your chest, lock your thighs, rotate your knees inward. And As you exhale, see if you can let your head drop all the way, almost looking for the place where the floor meets the wall as you bring your arms a little more beside your ears, pushing your hips and thighs forward, feeling this backward movement here of the slinky. And then change as you inhale. Bring your head back up between your arms, your back at center, pull to the ceiling, lengthen, lengthen from the tip of your fingers down to your heels. You can feel it. And as you exhale, now we're going to go for a forward bend. So keep your eyes on the wall in front of you, keep your head between your arms, and pull with your pointer fingers forward. So you're pulling forward on the way down, lengthening your spine. Nice flat back. And then come all the way down and place your palms on the ground a little bit in front of you. Now if you can't place your palms without bending your knees, then bend your knees. It's fine, but get your palms down and hang your head. And watch your knees as you pedal your heels left and right. Make your knees look like they're going to hit you in the nose. Notice if the tendency is for them to go out to the sides. Old habit. Something really nice you're doing for your knees right now. And you're loosening your hamstrings. And it feels wonderful. Remember, the soothing, the empowering is in the soothing. So as you bend down, place your chest against your thighs and hang your head. Now bring your hands behind you and place your palms flat down at the bottom of your calves, so that your fingertips are on the ground. So your fingertips are pointing down. And as you inhale, wrap your elbow tips behind your calves. Tuck your chin into your throat. And as you exhale, start to unwind that slinky from your tailbone up. And see if you can get your face to touch your shins. But think about that end of the slinky in your tailbone as it winds itself up. Inhale, wrap your elbow tips, keep your shoulders away from your ears. And as you exhale, move the tailbone towards the ceiling. Move your face towards your shins. And come on back up. Pull your pistol grip beside your ears. Lock your legs. Pull yourself forward from the pistol grip. Taking it slow, putting one coil of the slinky on top of the other. Coming back up to the ceiling for a stretch. Reach, lift, and drop your arms back down. And mountain pose. Feet are 6 inches hip width distance. Palms are facing forward. Drop your chin. Wide, and inhale, and exhale. In these two simple poses, you've oxygenated your blood, you've moved your entire spine 360 degrees, not movements that we do in everyday life. So here we are in the first just 10 or 20 minutes of movement, and you've done a whole body check. Something that has strengthened you. So stand here for a moment and breathe and notice how you feel emotionally. Remember that scale of 1 to 10? Taking a deep breath now, where would you say you are? Inhale. And exhale. Okay, let's do a few more beautifully empowering poses, starting with standing separate leg stretch. Dande Manavipatapana, Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to come here to the left, so we're going to take a big step to the right. So as you inhale, toes and heels together, pull the fingertips down. Continue to inhale to the arms come overhead, palms pressed in prayer. And you know, as long as you're up here, pull up from your fingertips. Let your head get squeezed between your biceps and grind down into your heels in a very stable way. So you can really feel yourself lifting up out of your body, really engaging that slinky spine. And as you exhale, give a big step to the right and let your arms come out in that T position. So pulling from fingertip to fingertips on both hands as if you have one long arm. You're going to feel the empowerment in your biceps and even in your triceps. And all you're doing is playing this little game of trying to touch the opposite walls. Now pinch and toe, unless you have sciatica or any lower back pain, right? This is really lovely on the sciatic nerve if it's not already bothersome. But if it is, let's not awaken that sleeping giant. Let's just keep the toes pointing straight ahead. Remember, this is about soothing and empowering you, not pushing you into a place of pain. In fact, anytime you feel any pain, you just back the pose down a little bit and find your empowerment again. So inhale, level your chin, lead with your breastbone, pushing your hips a little forward, and as you exhale, swan dive. Now as you swan dive, try not to thrust your chin. You're leading with your chest, coming all the way down. And then just take a moment to be a rag doll. Shake your head yes and no. Shake your hands very vigorously. Really doing this hard shaking. Really satisfying. Then you can put your fingertips down and rock your hips, making a little bit of a figure eight with your hips. Now look down at your floor, not between your legs, and once again reach around the backs of your calves. See if you can get your fingers to point down towards the backs of your ankles. I'm not sure what that part's called there. Okay, looking at your mat. As you inhale, bring your elbows, feeling like they want to be on your calves, right behind your shins. And as you exhale, tighten your thighs, straighten your legs, lift your tailbone up, and lead your breastbone down, as if you want that spot between your eyebrows to touch the mat between your feet. Inhale, pulling your elbow tips behind your calves. Exhale, tailbone up, breastbone down. Eventually, the spot between your eyebrows might just touch the mat. And then change. So bring your arms out in the T, stack your slinky. Really feel the control of this. The harder you pull from your fingertips, the more control you have of your beautiful spinal column. Back up. And then let's bring the arms up overhead again, and one push to bring the legs back together to the left, and bring yourself back down. Right here in our standing Shavasana, let's make it mountain pose. Separate your feet hip-width distance, palms face forward, drop your chin, pull your collarbones wide as if you have one long continuous collarbone, and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Are you already feeling a little more soothed and a little more empowered? And by empowered, I mean in your body, right here in the present moment, just feeling good about being here. Trikonasana, triangle pose, toes and heels together. Pull the fingertips down as you inhale, the arms overhead, hands in prayer. As you exhale, another wide step to the right, arms out again in the T position. I'm going to just change my camera angle a little this way. Okay, so pull from fingertips to fingertips, and you can feel your biceps and your triceps tighten. Doesn't that in and of itself feel empowering? And all you're doing is reaching for the walls with your fingertips. Your body comes up to meet you the rest of the way. Okay, so bring your chest and belly forward. It's going to feel like you're leaning backwards, a little bit awkward here. Bring your shoulder blades together behind you in a pinch, and then pivot on your heels. Turn your right toes forward, turn your left toes in and your left hip in 45 degrees. Keep pulling from the ends of the fingertips as you bend the right knee and sit nice and deep. Ideally, you'd like to have your quad, your thigh muscle, parallel to the ground. Come as deeply as you can today and pull again from the fingertips. Turn your palms so they face the front. And as you exhale the breath, windmill your arms. See how it looks like one long arm? Right fingertips coming down between your first and second toe. Left fingertips are reaching for the ceiling at 12 o'clock. Drop your chin. Turn your head so your chin is on your left shoulder. See if you can start to bring your left arm a little behind you, leading your left rib cage a little towards the ceiling and back. And then lock out that standing left leg. It's like a kickstand. Push your right bent knee back a little with the elbow and let the arms have a tug of war. Chin down and pull for the ceiling and pull for the floor and reach and stretch and lift and change. Arms out, T position. Pull from the ends of the fingers and bring again the chest and belly forward. Lean back and pinch the shoulder blades and pivot the opposite way. So now the left toes, I'm going to have to change my position. Left toes will face the front and right toes will come in 45 degrees. Continue to pull from the fingertips so you get those beautifully engaged biceps. And then bend the left knee and sit. So you are looking for a thigh muscle, a left thigh muscle that's parallel to the ground. Sort of a right angle behind the left knee. Ease yourself down. Pulling from the fingertips. Flip your palms forward. Pull from the fingertips again and go. As you exhale, windmill. Left elbow in front of the left knee. Right fingertips pulling to the ceiling at 12 o'clock. Drop your chin, turn your head. Chin will be on your right shoulder. And you can feel the arms pulling, reaching, lifting as you bend a little deeper. Reaching for the floor, reaching for the ceiling, and pull and lift and reach, stretch. Just feel this as you bring your right rib cage 3/4 of the way towards the ceiling, pulling, reaching, lifting. I just want to stay here for a long, long time and change. Arms out, T position. Arms overhead, hands in prayer. One push, legs together, and Shavasana. Standing still. I'm going to move a little bit because I'm going to find this beautiful music that seems to have stopped on us. Let's bring it back again. But you go ahead and stand there and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. You'll never go wrong standing in mountain pose and breathing. Just notice how empowered you feel. Inhale. And exhale. And let's go for the soothing empowerment of balance with tree pose. So lock this left thigh muscle, feel as if you're lifting it up. Bend the right leg up at the knee. Slide your right hand down your right shin to the top of your right foot and bring your left hand behind and under to cradle that foot. Let the knee drop, bend your elbow tips and see if you can wedge your heel into your hip crease as you drop the knee down further. Now, if this presents with any pain in the knee, just place the sole of your foot on your inner thigh, or you can even place the sole of your foot right here by your ankle. Remember, this practice, this blissful warrior practice means that you are going to be a warrior about your own bliss, not pushing yourself into pain, recognizing that there is no warrior gain in pain. So I'll be holding right here, and then bring your right hand into half prayer, drop your chin, pull your collarbones wide, and take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Allow your tailbone to relax down. Allow your hips to move a little forward. And if you're holding the heel in the hip crease, then that right knee might just drop down and back a little more. And then using your hands, release your leg. And now the other side. So locking up the right thigh and bending the left leg at the knee. Sliding your hand down your shin to the top of your foot, reaching behind and underneath the foot, holding the foot and dropping that knee down. Bend your elbow tips and raise the heel into the hip crease. Or, once again, you can place the sole of your foot on your inner thigh. You can even place the sole of your foot on your right ankle. Left hand in half prayer. And you're in this beautiful balanced pose. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your tailbone. Just feel your whole body relax as you exhale the breath. But keep your collarbones pulled wide so you can feel the strength and open you feel. Really basking in it. All right, now let's come back to the floor. So as you inhale, pull your collarbones wide. And as you exhale, turn your palms to the wall behind you and let your chin drop. Let your arms begin to hang forward a little bit, and then a little bit more. See if you can keep your legs locked as you hang your head, tuck your chin towards your throat, letting your arms be very limp. Feel as if you're separating every coil of this slinking in your spine. Going slowly. When the fingertips touch, bring your fingertips far out in front of you. Lock your arms. Squeeze your legs together, rotate your knees in, keep your head between your arms, and bend both knees. Place the knees on the ground between your hands. Uncurl your toes, sitting back on your heels, and sitting in this beautiful pose. Palms in your lap, elbow tips drop to your sides, collarbones wide, chin just neutral as you inhale. Ardhamatsandrasana, half spinal twist. Really focused on moving the spine in all different directions today. So bring your left leg out in front of you, pulling from your heel and flexing the toes towards your face. Bring your right leg out in front of you, and then bring your right leg up and over. So your right heel is against your left knee corner. Bring your right arm behind you and lean into it, lock it out. It's like a kickstand. Your left arm by your ear, close to your head and reaching for 12 o'clock. So now both arms feel locked. As you bend your left elbow, come down around the outside of your right knee and push it back. Reach your hand down and place your fingertips on the ground and lock your left arm. So now both arms are locked. Drop your chin, and as you inhale, lift your chest. Begin to pull your right shoulder behind you, keeping your right arm locked, and as you exhale, pushing the elbow against the bent knee, twist. Drop your chin, look over your shoulder, twist. Feel this twist beginning at the base of your spine. As you inhale, opening your chest, feeling it move up the middle of your spine. Drop your chin and look over your shoulder, feeling the twist at the cervical spine. Twist and change. So now we'll alternate. Bring the right leg out, pull from the right heel, bend the left leg, place the sole of the left foot over the right knee. Bring your left arm behind you, your flat kickstand arm, your right arm up, pull for the ceiling, and then come down around the outside of the knee and push it away. Place your fingertips on the ground, locking both arms. Drop your chin, and as you inhale, lift your chest and suck your stomach in. And as you exhale, dropping your chin and twisting to look over your left shoulder. Now keep your eyes moving. Don't let them settle anywhere. Pull from your heel forward, flex the toes towards your face. Inhale, lift your chest, lock both arms, exhale, twist. And whatever you're looking at behind you, search for the next thing and twist, and twist, and twist. And come back to center. Beautiful. Now bring both legs together. Pull from your heels forward and flex your toes towards your face. Place your palms on your shins. Lock your arms at the elbows. Sit up straight. Let your knees turn inward a little bit. Keep your collarbones wide. And as you inhale, everything is locked. Heels pulling forward, toes towards your face, elbows locked, collarbones wide, chin dropped. And as you exhale, lean back, keeping everything locked. Your heels pulling, your arms locked. Slide your palms over your knees. Tucking your chin, slide your palms over your thighs. You are lowering yourself down, vertebra at a time, so beautifully massaging for your spine. And then you're all the way down, and bring your arms to your side. sides, palms facing up. Let your heels touch and your toes flop apart. Tuck your chin. And take a breath. Now you close your eyes right here. We're in Final Shavasana. I'll actually be sitting for the Final Shavasana, but you are going to lie down, and I'm going to talk you through this really beautiful part of this class, the Final Shavasana. Sometimes when we teach yoga, people get up and leave at Final Shavasana. They feel like the active part of the class is over. But I'm going to tell you that this is one of the most empowering parts of any yoga practice, is the engaging yourself in Final Shavasana, engaging yourself, immersing yourself in this ability to let go. Now that you've moved your body around a little bit, some of those old obstacles and creaky parts seem to be a little soothed. You feel more like yourself. This is the perfect time for you to lie here and allow this feeling to become your new set point. That's what you're doing in Shavasana. You are raising your set point from wherever you started in this class today to exactly where you are right now, which, if you check in right now, you might notice you'd feel a little bit more soothed, a little bit more at home in your own body. A beautiful place to be. Close your eyes and begin the breathing. Inhale, nice and deep, in through your nose, ballooning your belly out. Feel yourself filling up. And then as you exhale, again, hearing that sound in the back of your throat, you're dropping your lower back into this imaginary hand that gets slipped under the small of your back. And you're just allowing it to hold you up. Keeping your collarbones wide and your heels touching and your toes flopped apart. And inhale, balloon your belly out. And exhale and deflate. Still keeping your collarbones wide so you feel your shoulder blades on the mat and your chin dropped a little towards your throat and the tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Inhale. Fill your belly, collarbones wide, chin dropped, heels touching, toes flopped apart. And then exhale, deflate the belly. Let your lower back drop into that hand waiting to support you at the small of your back. Just feel how you feel in this moment. And as you lie here breathing, really basking in this new set point that you've created for yourself in just the hour that we've been together, right? Imagine all the years and years of built up tension and obstacles in your body that you have softened and moved to someplace a little bit higher, a little bit more soothing, a little bit more empowering. In 1 hour, that's how empowered you are. That's the ability that you carry within yourself at all times. So just bask in that for a moment. And I'm going to read a passage to you from my book, which is called The Blissful Warrior. It's what this practice is named after. So I am just going to open to a random page and trust the universe to bring you the message that you need to hear and that will really resonate for you as you lie here breathing. Actively choose happiness. Whatever you're wanting is because you sense you will feel happier in having it. Why wait? Your happiness was never dependent upon things, accomplishments, or other people. Happiness is a feeling. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is the journey, not the reward at the end. Happiness is unconditional. Choose a single moment of happiness right now, despite current conditions. Feeling better requires no minimum income, no special props. Soothing yourself is a choice, and it is always available. Happiness comes easily once you stop putting it off. Take 3 deep breaths. In this moment, choose soothing over struggling, slightly more satisfied overstressed. Happiness is always seeking you. Make yourself easy to find. It's my hope that you do feel a little bit happier in this moment. Soothing, satisfied, contented, all of those words that add up to a little bit of a pivot away from stress and towards a better feeling you. Thank you for joining me today. Like I love to remind everyone, this is my practice, this Blissful Warrior Midday practice. I don't like to go a day without it. I can feel the difference in my mood and in my energy having done this practice. And I hope that those of you who've joined me today can also sense a little bit of a shift. Will this shift last forever? No. That's why it's called a practice. You practice to raise your set point. It's sort of like having this internal bungee cord, right? Once that cord is nice and flexible, really good, holding you strong and stable, it doesn't matter how far away you get thrown, your set point will bring you back to this place where you feel like yourself. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from Riverflow Yoga. Thank you again for joining me today for this Blissful Warrior Yoga practice. This evening we have hot yoga at 6 o'clock and we have Yoga Nidra at 9 o'clock, which means yoga sleep. What a beautiful way to ease yourself into a restful night of deep sleep. So come back and join us here tonight for hot yoga, for Yoga Nidra, and then every day at 12:30 for Blissful Warrior Yoga. Till soon, my friends.